Rovers have another target in their sights this transfer season, and he is, of course, a defensive midfielder. Can he give Tronstad a run for his money? We're going to take a look next. That's right, folks, back once again with another video. Today we're taking a look at the latest name in the Blackburn Rovers transfer mill. That, of course, is Greg Docherty. Who is he? I'll tell you all about it, and we'll get into it in a second. If you're new, where you been? Smash your subscribe button, your one-stop shop for Transfer Rovers, Blackburn Rovers, transfer news. We've got it all here, boys and girls, under one roof. Of course, the latest name, of course, being linked with the move to Blackburn Rovers is another free transfer, and of course, he comes from the Championship, and we'll get into it all of it in a second. Of course, big shout out to the VIPs. They are the patrons. You know who you are. And again, if you're new, smash your subscribe. So, what are we talking about? Who are we talking about? Well, we are talking about this, guys. That's, of course, the latest name in the offering, and he goes by Greg Docherty. Now, this is an article, of course, coming at you from the 72.co.uk, but the link comes from the Daily Record. Of course, that's the source. This actually is an article saying that a Scottish club are also interested in Blackburn Rovers target Greg Docherty. So there's older articles out there that that talk about us being linked with Greg Docherty, but yeah, and of course Hamilton Academicals are the Scottish club that are interested in them. There are actually other Championship clubs linked with Mr. Docherty, of course, but who the heck is he? Well, there are some other Championship clubs linked with Mr. Docherty, but who the heck is he? Let's, of course, take a little bit of an exploration or a little journey into who he is and what he can provide for Blackburn Rovers should the deal get over the line. So let's jump into it and have a look at this fella right here. And he goes by the name of Greg Docherty. That's right. He's of both Scottish and Irish descent, and he plays in the midfield with the right foot, and his contract is just about up, guys. He's done and dusted with I believe there's no extension on the card. He's going to be he's on the release list at Hull City, but of course he does play straight down the middle of the core of a team, play in a box standard central midfield, can play a little bit further forward, and also in their defensive spot, which of course is what currently is occupied by Tronstad in the Blackburn Rovers side. So initially that would be who he would be competing for, which of course is great. We do need competition for all spots at Blackburn Rovers, and of course Sondre is no exception to that. So let's take a look then a little bit more at Docherty. Of course, he's played 15 times this season in the Championship, which of course Hull City flirted with the playoffs to the bitter end. He didn't score a goal. He did get one assist, though, a couple of yellow cards as well. He was only in the starting 11, though, just 2% of the time, playing just 7% of the minutes of Hull City. And he was involved in just 1% of goal participation. So, of course, not getting much game action is, of course, Mr. Docherty at Hull. But, of course, when Mr. Moneybags over there is throwing money at your Carvalhos, your Scott Twines, and, of course, your series there. You've got your matey boy from Liverpool. You know, he was never going to get game really, so he was always pissing in the wind. To be fair, this is his heat map though in those games. As you can see, a lot of in the middle of the park, and again preferring the right hand side to the left hand side. So that's probably what we're going to be getting should Docherty get over the line. Let's take a look at his numbers. He did play 15 times, 22 minutes per game. He was never in the team of the week. XG of just 0.32. As you can see, very sparse in the attacking areas, but that's not what we want him for. We want him here as a defensive midfielder. To be fair, I think you know, if a Tronstad was to get injured, and of course then we're looking at academy prospects, I think this guy could do a great job adding a bit more experience. He's got a good resume, or a decent resume. He's not one of those super experienced players in their 30s, etc., and have been there, seen it, and got the T-shirt. But he's got minutes, he's got reps for the Championship, and that's of course key, and that's what I'm all about right now. And that's because we got a good young core, and we seem to get the loanees in, and I think the loanees is the problem. Is a bit of the problem. There's a little bit of the problem. We cannot rely on loanees who really don't give two shits about Blackburn Rovers. Get a guy signed on a 2-3 year deal. He'll commit more to this. He'll give more. He'll want to succeed because you know there's an end game. There's an end game for him. If we were to pick up a Docherty or a guy on a free transfer for a 2-3 year deal, He knows he's going to be at this club for 2 or 3 years. He'll try and make this club succeed. Whereas if you're a loanee, yeah, of course you can give yourself a good crack at good going over it for a season and try and get yourself good numbers, which of course will get you into the first team in the Premier League. But then after that season, you're not going to give two shits about Blackburn Rovers. Anyway, let's get back into it. Of course, I'll take a look at Docherty's other stats here. Of course, just the one assist, expected assists, 0.23 with the XG there, or the XA, as they say. Touches 14.4 on average. And of course, he got some good defensive numbers as well. Of course, some successful dribbles. Duels won 1.4, 43% success rate in that. Ground duels won 38%. Aerial duels won 6%. So he ain't afraid of a challenge in the air. Meanwhile, let's kick it on forward. Take a look at this valuation. He was once valued on £1.2 million. That was, of course, back in the 2021-2022 season. For Hull. They, of course, have been on a bit of a roller coaster themselves, with, of course, dipping down into League One, and, of course, get themselves back and now challenging for the playoffs just last season. So his valuation kind of steadied around about the million mark in the past couple of seasons, and, of course, he has represented Rangers and Hibs in his career, which we'll explore in just a little bit. Of course, he is going to be competing, should he arrive, for a spot in the place of Sondre Tronstad. I don't think these two guys would start. It would definitely be one or the other. So let's take a look at them in side by side with the potential of this coming on in. So Docherty, of course, coming at you just a year younger than Sondre Tronstad. He is a little bit higher, taller that is, and of course both are right-footed. Docherty can also play a little bit further forward than that of Sondre Tronstad, who of course is more of a defensive individual. He's also got a bit of experience of winning something, which is lacking in Blackburn Rovers at the moment. We haven't got many winners on the books at the moment. Take a look then at their values over the course of time. Of course, Tronstad's value has been good since our acquisition's kind of gone back up to about €2 million, whereas Docherty's kind of steady-deadied at around about $1 million. Of course, take a look at the main stats then over the course of their careers. Very similar numbers. Docherty played 328 games in total in all competitions at all venues around the bloody world, pretty much. As for Sondre, he's chipped in with 320 games so far as well. Goals, again, Docherty's got more goals than that of Sondre, 28 goals compared to Sondre, 16. He's also got 44 assists compared to Tronstad, 17. And if we are going to compare here, we're looking at goals per how many minutes per goal? 781 minutes per goal for Greg, 1,532 minutes per goal for Tronstad. Tronstad's not known as a goal scorer. He's only got, I'm sure he got a goal for Rovers, did he not? I can't really remember now. I must have been in the cup. There he is, in the FA Cup. Yeah. So the numbers are very similar, of course, but it's definitely an interesting deal that could please Blackburn Rovers fans. It's not one of those that are going to get the headlines. It's definitely not one of them. You're not going to get all excited. He's not going to get you off your seats in regards to creativity and wowing you. He's more of a hard-working, important cog of an engine sort of a player. And yes, we do have that in Tronstad, but I'd like to, if I was in charge of the recruiting or the squad itself, I definitely want like depth with all the positions. So I want 2 or 3 goalkeepers. I might at least 2 competing goalkeepers, 1 sort of decent youngster coming through, and again basically 2 for every spot. And right now I don't think we have a backup to Sondre Tronstad. And of course, if we were to get a Greg Docherty, I can see him challenging for that jersey. And of course, that's just going to make Sondre Tronstad improve to make sure that he maintains his performances, which was stellar last season. He was one of the shining lights last season in a team and a season that was pretty dog shit. So Greg coming in, or a player of Greg's sort of quality and experience and know-how and position, is just going to do Blackburn Rovers the benefit of the good by making Sondre even more hungry and more determined to succeed and provide that experience. Of course, I've completely forgot. Travis is coming back. So we could actually be 3 guys competing for that. But again, Docherty has an extra string to his bow, playing further up the field as well. So A bit more versatility with Greg, and that's good. Again, I'd love to see this deal come on in. It's a freebie. There's not much to lose. Wages, if you get that number just spot on, then I think we're going to be. I think we could be in better shape, because it's not a stellar signing. It's not an exciting signing. But if you can get these little ones, get these a couple of little experienced heads there and everywhere, and then maybe push more of the funds in the creative, in the attacking areas, then of course we could be in a better shape next season. So what are your thoughts about Greg Docherty? Does it get you excited? Would you think it's a good deal for Rovers in the future? Do you think it will actually happen? Because right now it's all smoke and mirrors at the moment. We're not really getting any actual movement in the transfer window just yet. Let me know your thoughts and opinions about Greg and the potential of him joining us at Ewood Park. But until then, subscribe, smash a like, catch you later. But until then, guys and gals, we're done.